So the Nintendo Switch is coming to a close very soon, and it seems like this might be the final Nintendo Direct that we get for the year when it comes to the Nintendo Switch itself. So I want to talk about what we might see, what's the possibilities of what's going to come to the Nintendo Switch for the rest of the year, and are we going to get a Direct later in the year? So let's just talk about all these things. So first off, we have a Nintendo Direct coming up probably within another week or so, 2 weeks at most, as we're in the middle of June, literally exactly as I'm recording this video, maybe uploading it, I don't know. And to my knowledge, I would say the new console is probably going to get announced in September or October, probably October, and released in like March of next year because that's what they did with the first Switch. Maybe Super Nintendo Switch as the title. That's for another video. I actually did a video on the Nintendo Switch 2 not too long ago. But that being said, the games and things that are going to be announced here is going to be very interesting. So I'm going to start by saying Nintendo Switch Online Service is probably going to get some new stuff. Maybe classic Mario parties that may not be there or something. I don't really know. Let me know what you want on NSO still. Smash Bros 64. That's one I would love to see. I'd love that to be multiplayer online as well, because that would be a big one. I think that one would be awesome if they announced that. I do think they're going to update that though more with more Game Boy games and N64 games and stuff. I'm hoping that maybe they would add Donkey Kong 64 on there as well. I think that would be pretty cool because honestly, I don't think we're going to get a new Donkey Kong game announced yet. It would be great, or like a remake or something of Donkey Kong 64 would be even better. But I think that we're probably going to see maybe Donkey Kong 64 possibly on NSO, on the N64, on the Switch Online service, but not entirely sure on that one, but it would be a great announcement nonetheless. I think that and Smash would be really great for N64 for the NSO. I think that would be fantastic announcements. There's many other games that possibly they could add. I know Rare has a tie-in there, so I don't really entirely know. Like, I would love to see them add more Rare games on there as well. I think that would be pretty fantastic, such as Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I know isn't on there. Banjo's on there, but Conker is not. At least I don't think it is. And I think that would also be a really great addition because that game is a classic. It's really funny and fun, and I think that's one that people would be really happy with, you know, especially if this is like the last Switch Direct. But the NSO is going to transfer over, no doubt, for the new next console or whatever, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying these are some ideas of games that could very well be likely on there. I'm wondering how this Direct is going to really start. Are they going to start with like showing Luigi's Mansion 2 or something, depending on when that's going to be coming out, right? So I think it makes sense to show that one last time. Maybe they'll show it at the beginning, just starting off saying, hey, this game is coming out in a couple weeks or whatever. I hope you enjoyed that little trailer for Luigi's Mansion 2. Dark Moon, I think it was called. So I think that would be a fine start, and I think that we're going to get a lot of remakes, remasters, ports, you name it, because we're at the end of the Switch's life cycle. We got Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is great. I will talk about that in the future. And Dark Moon, Luigi's Mansion 2 is coming out as well. So some things I really want to see, which would make sense. Number one, probably Metroid Prime 2 and 3 is more likely than seeing Prime 4. Prime 4 makes absolute sense, and I would love for that to be the finale of the Direct. Them showing Metroid Prime 4 at the end. You know, just finally show us it. The game's got to be coming out on Switch. It's not for the next console. Like, come on, the game's been in development for years, for so long. And it is the only Nintendo Switch game that has yet to come out that's like a new game. That isn't like a remaster or a remake. I think it'd be cool if they came out with Metroid Prime 1 and 2 first. You know, announced those together or something. And then announce a Prime 4 trailer at the very end of the Direct. But I don't know. It's so hard to predict if they're going to do 2 and 3 or not before 4 comes out. Because they only did the first one. They could. That way maybe it'll help with sales for when 4 comes out. I'm going to play 4 regardless, even if I haven't played 2 or 3 and 2 or 3 don't come to the Switch. That's fine. I'm still going to get 4 day one. As long as it looks good. I really hope it does. But I think that it makes sense to bring 2 and 3 over, maybe drop 2 and 3 together, or just drop 2 as a shadow drop, digital only, and then it ends up physical like a couple weeks later, a month later, or whatever, and then do 3 as well around the same time, give or take, or just do them together as a bundle before Metroid Prime 4, and then at the very end of the Direct, we see Metroid Prime 4. I think it makes complete sense. I mean, they said it was coming to the Nintendo Switch console. The next console's right around the corner. I do believe the next console will be backwards compatible. I think the Switch is still going to get games for a couple more years as well. But I think it just makes sense for Prime 4 to finally be shown at this Direct. There's a couple other things that I think they might do. And this is GameCube related games, because the GameCube games that come to Switch, they sell. They sell really well. If you think GameCube's going to come to NSO, I personally don't think it will. I think they're going to do Nintendo DS next, and then it'll probably be down the line on the next console. I think that DS is going to come next, then maybe 3DS in the future after that. I don't know if they will ever do GameCube, because GameCube games sell really well as remasters and remakes on the Nintendo Switch. So I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't think we're going to get DS yet. I don't think NSO is going to add a new one yet until probably next year. But some games that I want to see from GameCube come to the Nintendo Switch. One is definitely Star Fox Adventures. Why? I feel like it's kind of underrated in a way. It's like you explore different planets and stuff, and it's not just like a space adventure where you're just flying in a ship. You're going from planet to planet as Star Fox and other characters, and it's just a fun, classic GameCube game. I think that a remake of that would be amazing. But a remaster, I'll take a remaster. I think Star Fox Adventures is a pretty solid game. I think it's really cool, really fun. I mean, it's my childhood, so maybe I'm biased towards it because I played it as a kid, and I remember even playing it in a Walmart or a Target as a kid, looking up at that screen, you know, and with all the games in the glass display cases. Man, I miss those times. Another game that is heavily rumored to possibly appear here is F-Zero GX. I never played F-Zero GX. The only F-Zero I've really played is the original and 99. I've never really played much F-Zero, so I never played GX, but it's another that's there's some rumors floating around saying this game might come to the Nintendo Switch, and I'm down, you know. If anything, I think F-Zero 99 was something that gave us hope for F-Zero's return. Now, it's not a new F-Zero, but maybe on the next console we'll get a new F-Zero, like a brand new one. And I think this would be cool to see. You know, I think it'd be great to see another F-Zero game. F-Zero in general come to the Switch outside of F-Zero 99. I think that'd be awesome. Of course, I'll buy it. F-Zero's cool. So, I mean, yeah. Now, there are rumors going around that Mario Party is going to get another game, which I think it makes sense. Nintendo has to have at least one new game here outside of Metroid Prime 4, please. It makes sense to come out with another Mario Party, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be like Superstars. I think it's going to be a sequel to Super Mario Party with the Joy-Cons. I think that game had fun mini-games. The maps were not that good, but I think a sequel has potential, and I think it will sell well during the holiday season. I think it would be a perfect game to release around the holiday season for the end of the Nintendo Switch era, to release another Super Mario Party, like Super Mario Party 2. Just call it that. You know, and I think that the rumors of that are very possibly likely of that happening on the console before it ends. And I mean, I'm down. I'm not opposed to another Mario Party game as long as it's better than the last Super Mario Party. I mean, as long as I can have some fun with it. $60 is a bit of a stretch, but depends on what's all in there. I mean, as long as I can have fun with friends, I mean, I'm cool with that. I think another that there have been some talks about would be Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games or Summer Games or whatever. Olympic Games in general, I think that another one possibly could get announced. I mean, I haven't played any since the Wii, so I don't really know like what ones are good, what ones are bad, or any of that. But having a new one might be fun to play with friends and people. I think it would possibly be pretty cool to see another one, as there hasn't been one in quite some time now, and I think that would be just a good time. Another Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games sounds fun. I mean, those games, to my knowledge, from what I played on the Wii back in the day, there's some fun to be had in those, so I'm not opposed to seeing a new one. I don't have much to say on that franchise because I barely played it at all, but I mean, you gotta have some new stuff on the Switch before the Switch ends, outside of remasters and ports, you name it. You got to have a couple new things here or there, and I think that's another that is a possibility. I mean, it's got Mario in it and stuff. It might sell pretty decent. One more thing I forgot to mention. I literally am recording this like an hour later or something and just putting it in there. The Zelda ports. How could I forget? Zelda Wind Waker HD, Zelda Twilight Princess HD, both around the Wii U. I'm sorry. Both of those need to come to the Switch. Like, I don't know why they haven't yet, but these games need to come out this year. If not, they're not happening. If they are not announced at the June Direct, they are just not porting them. And they don't care about us at all, which wouldn't make any sense because they remade Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. They clearly hear us. They hear the fans. So, the Zelda ports. They gotta happen. They gotta come out this year. Otherwise, they're just not happening at all, and Nintendo just doesn't give a crap. I think they're gonna happen, though. I really do. I think they're gonna be at this event, this Nintendo Direct. I really think that the Zelda ports are gonna be there, and they're gonna finally be ported to the Switch, which is such an easy port because they're both on Wii U. It makes no sense why it's taking them so long to put the Zelda games on the Switch. I just don't understand. Once these two are on the Switch, we'll finally have every single 3D Zelda title on the Nintendo Switch in some kind of way, which is great, you know? So, Nintendo, just give me the ports, please. Just, we're right at the end of the Switch. It's time. It's seriously time to just port these games. I will give you all of my money. I promise. So those are just some ideas on some things that we might see. We could even see another like Kirby game. We could see something related to Pokemon. I mean, I kind of doubt that. I don't think we're going to see anything till way later in the year before next year when Pokemon Legends ZA and whatever else they have planned coming. And usually Pokemon's not in the regular directs anyways. But that being said, those are just some ideas that I have. There might be some more cool stuff. There'll probably be more surprises. I'm going to go into this possibly final Nintendo Switch Direct with open eyes. Like, I don't know what to expect, really, to be honest, but I don't expect much, and that's not a bad thing. Go in with low expectations because this is going to be the possibly last Direct of the Nintendo Switch ever, and I think that this is a great timing just to show us some cool stuff for the rest of the year, what they have. You know, I mean, there's not a whole lot left to go for the Switch's lifespan, and I think that they're going to just give us a little bit of something here or there that'll get us excited for the rest of the year. And then later in the year, they'll get us even more excited because I don't think we're going to see any of the games for the next console yet. I think we're going to see that later in the year. I don't think that they're ready to show us any of that quite yet. And it definitely makes sense because they haven't revealed the new console yet either. So, I mean, if you remember when the Nintendo Switch was announced, we already knew about Breath of the Wild, but Mario Odyssey was teased in there as well. So, and we didn't know what that was at the time. So, I don't think we're really going to see much of anything until later this year when it comes to brand new games coming to the next console. I do think Prime 4 possibly, though, will release simultaneously on the Switch and the new console. It could release this holiday, but I feel like it might release simultaneously with the new console and the Nintendo Switch itself. Very possible. Depends on what releases this holiday season. Depends on what they want to do this holiday season. Again, I have no idea. None of us really know. We have some ideas, but we don't really know what Nintendo is going to do the rest of the year because they're being very secretive. And that's one thing I like about Nintendo is their stuff doesn't really get leaked out, and that's what makes it fun. It's part of the fun and part of the speculation. So that's all I got for today's video. I wanted to talk about the Direct coming up. And yeah, that's really my ideas on things. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. And I'll see you guys all next time. Enjoy the previous videos. I don't know. Go watch someone better than me. Peace.